WestCoast Podcast. I'm Shane. As always, with me is my man Trey.
Yes, sir. We are back with another episode of the West Coast Podcast. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, for watching the live streams that Shanghai U11 does, and also check out my channel, Trey's Raw. Been doing some videos over there, so be sure to check that one out. But regardless, we are back with another episode, and I'm pretty excited to get into this one. We've had a couple interesting things. We have the new golden tickets. We have golden tickets that are going to be coming out tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited to get into that, as well as some other stuff that's been going on. So, Shane, how have you been doing over these last couple weeks? I know you took a hiatus for some personal issues that you don't want to get into, but how are you feeling right now, and are you looking forward to getting back into the swing of things?
What's good, everyone? Yeah, I apologize. This last week has been, I'll just say, one of the tougher, weirder ones in a long time. So, yes, I am looking forward to getting back to streaming next week like normal. Sometimes life happens and you can't always be there. That's why I updated you guys in the community tab on some of it about my car was one of them. I'll say this one. I won't say the other ones, but yeah, transmissions are expensive. Just remember that $4,400 is some bull crap. But hopefully I'll be able to get my car back in about a week and a half, 2 weeks from now. Until then, I'm gonna be stuck at home. Trey, how have you been, my man?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, cars are expensive. Something that I'm learning now as I'm older is it's good to have like at least like 2,500 in the bank that you don't touch, because once them cars break down, because it doesn't matter what kind of car you have. Well, I mean, like, if you buy a fresh new car off the lot, then I imagine you'd probably be straight for a while. But I don't know anyone personally that has ever bought a brand new car, so. But yeah, other than that, I've been doing pretty good. Just been grinding Madden and all that, getting back into the money games, which I know Shane is chopping at the bit to get back into money games. So hopefully we get that going pretty soon. So getting into the show, something very interesting has happened that I'm eager to get Shane's opinion on. So we have Barry Sanders, Hall of Fame running back for the Detroit Lions. Obviously, has been a staple in Ultimate Team. And on the 30th of April, which I understand is a little bit old news, but this podcast is only once every 2 weeks, so that is the reason we're talking about this now. So, anyways, this is what Barry Sanders posted on his X profile. Hey, and he adds EA Sports Mutt, EA Sports Madden NFL, gamers and fans, breaking news. I have decided, after many years, to discontinue my relationship with the brand and the products. I apologize for those that were expecting me in the games. And then he just leaves like a little highlight reel package, which is pretty dope. It includes like Madden 99 with his highlights and all that. So, Shane, I want to flip it over to you. What is your general impression about something like this happening? And do you think that this is something that maybe even more players down the line you could see this happening to?
In my honest, humble opinion, I think it has to do with money. I'm gonna be honest. I think that he thinks that he should get paid more, and probably knowing EA, rightfully so. I think players will start doing this if they want to get paid more. I think they'll start to stand up against EA. It does suck because I loved using Barry Sanders in Madden. You know me, I'm a runner. So it is kind of sad to see on that. What's going on, Rose? How are you doing? You're about to cancel me for my no streams. Oh man, it's been a rough week. I'll just leave it at that right now. What about you, Trey? What was your honest opinion when you heard that about Barry Sanders?
Yeah, so Rose just joined the stream. Rose, I want to get your opinion because Mutt and just said, I don't want to be in it. Either that or Mutt just didn't want to put them in it, etc. So maybe it's not too much of an obscure thing to happen, but it's interesting that this sort of thing is kind of out in public, and I will be interested to see if this would be something that is in the future. And one thing, like, I'm gonna go like a little bit of conspiracy theorist, Shane. Do you think that if more players, like legendary players, decide to remove themselves from MUT, that it could hurt MUT, or do you think they'd be able to just get by with doing the players that are already active in the NFL?
So, okay, so I'm an idiot, so I apologize. I'm gonna let. So, Rose, I didn't know that if I went to blue screen, it cuts off audio. So, I apologize to you, Trey, and apologize to you guys. I was trying to fix my screen because your comments, Rose, were like messed up on the PS5. So, I apologize on that. So, Trey basically wanted to know your opinion about Barry Sanders and him not doing Madden anymore. Trey, to answer your question while she answers us, here's my opinion on it. I think I think what they'll do is just have players out of position way more now. I think that's how they'll get away with it. I think they'll just try to make it cool and people will still buy it because it's the number one game. Rose replied with, "Well, yeah, it's a straight obvious. I'd be surprised if Barry saw the gameplay and had an understanding of the pre-lit X factors. These pros don't care." Um. But for me, I just think that they'll do a bunch of out of position stuff, Trey. So that's where I'm at on that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, and that could be the case. Um, and then it's also too. I mean, it's the morality factor of it too. I think definitely plays a part in it because mud is essentially gambling, which is a bigger discussion. But that can also be something too that I think a lot of these people can look at how mud is ran and see how much it's about spending money and opening up packs and whatnot, and see how it equates to gambling. And like if a player is morality, they're not exactly with that sort of thing, then I could see that potentially causing issues down the road. So yeah, with that being said, I'm just interested to see on how, because how they say where there's smoke, there's fire. So I'll definitely be interested to see how this comes about moving forward. So Shane, I want to get your opinion. I'm not sure if you got a chance to check this out or you got to see it. I'm sure you've at least seen clips of it on social media, but we had the Tom Brady roast that happened last week. Did you get a chance to see that at all, and what is your takeaways from it?
Okay, I'll answer. Rose also added because she's wondering why does he care so much? She thinks it's a good message for him if he's trying to make a point about make players relevant. I doubt he understands the difference between abilities, between no abilities, like the guys don't think about their likeness. That's what she added on to finish up. And I am sure that he does not understand certain things in the game for sure. I still think it has to do with money. Now to go on to what you said, Trey. I didn't get to see it yet. I was gonna watch it. I did watch pieces. I'm a little confused if Tom Brady really did get butthurt about Robert Kraft or if that was just like, a skit. A lot of people said he got butthurt about it and it was supposed to be off limits. So I am not sure, again, if that's true or if they were making a joke and people just didn't understand the sarcasm and all that. So Trey, what is your opinion on that? Do you think he really got butthurt, or do you think that it was just a skit and people didn't understand?
Yeah, so basically, I watched the whole thing. I watched it when it went live. And Julian Edelman actually did a podcast with Drew Bledsoe, who was at the roast. And, from what they've been saying and from what other people that were kind of there, they said that it was pretty legit. And if you watch it, it seems legit, because he walked up to Jeff Ross, I think that's his name, that made the massage joke. He went up to him and whispered, but I don't think Tom Brady, because you could see he went up to him and whispered in his ear, but I don't think Tom Brady knew that he was mic'd up at the time. But at the same time, it's kind of weird because that part of it gets picked up, but throughout the rest of the things until at the end he went up and did his little spill on things. You didn't really get to hear him any feedback from the microphone, so that is something that I'm just thinking about now. That is kind of weird. Doesn't really add up, but no, I like it. A lot of people, are like praising it. I haven't seen a whole lot of people, say it was bad, this, that, and the other. It's definitely not a family appropriate type of comedy thing, but a lot of people are saying that this is what comedy needs to be. It was like a return back to the old days of comedy. But I guess since we were on the topic of comedy, Shane, are you into comedy at all? And who are some of your favorite comedians? And what is your take on I guess the state of the comedy scene? And do you think it's kind of gotten too politically correct, if you will? Yeah.
Yeah, perfect question, Trey. I actually really like this. I'm gonna add in that Rose wrote Robert showed up to the roast since everyone was getting dissed. You can't single yourself out and say, "Oh, don't roast me." Like Brady apparently has tight connections with Kraft because Belichick wanted to get rid of him and Kraft didn't. So Kraft has been Brady's A1. Totally understandable, Rose, with that take for sure. If that was like a true thing where Brady got butthurt about Kraft, that's a little weird. But moving on, yeah, I love comedy. Like I'm gonna be honest, I love comedy movies, I love comedy shows, and I love comedians. So probably my all-time favorite comedian, just hands down, is Dave Chappelle. Like hands down, Dave Chappelle. Like I mean, to me, he's the funniest comedian out there. I did enjoy Cat Williams for a while. Kevin Hart's cool. Um, I also like honestly, even for me, I like George Lopez. But like I said, yes. Um, shoot, Eddie Murphy was funny as hell. Charlie Murphy was even funny as hell. So yeah, I'm into comedians and like it. Like I do think people have gotten soft a little bit. Like I understand if you like are getting picked out, like they never make fun of but it's funny like you're making fun of everyone, right? Like I don't get mad when Dave Chappelle does a white voice, like I really don't. So when he's like, uh, hey guys, like Tim over here, like it's funny as hell to me. Like it's funny as hell to me, and I wouldn't get butthurt if it's in good nature. Sure, like if it's in poor negative nature where you're just literally getting crapped on and people are just trying to be rude as hell to you, that's different. But when you go to a roast, you know you're going to get made fun of, right? When you go to a comedy show, you know that your race, your orientation, your income level is going to get made fun of, and like you should laugh and enjoy it, especially if I go to Dave Chappelle, I know I'm going to get made fun of, or you know like something about me is going to be made fun of. Not me personally, but like either my skin tone on something, my income level, my religion, whatever. But I'm there. It's funny to me. I don't get butthurt on that. I don't get butthurt if they're totally disrespectful and it was crossing the line of being a joke. Trey, to add on to what Rose was saying, she said, yeah, it's weird for Brady to get butthurt over the craft joke. Some could say the massage joke Brady got mad about because he didn't want to be tied in jokingly um, behavior. So maybe Brady didn't want to be joked as a possible homosexual. Less about that side of things, if that makes sense. But I'm using it by their definition. I thought Kraft got massaged by women, or am I wrong on that? I don't know. Either way,
Yeah, no, yeah, no. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, it was definitely women. I mean, that whole scandal is like, they basically did like, what do you call it? Like a private investigation on them, and they linked Robert Kraft alongside with a bunch of other, I'm assuming, rich white billionaire people, people that were going into massage parlors and all that. So yeah, it was definitely women, but yeah, no, I don't understand. I mean, I mean it is kind of messed up, but like, the whole scope of life. I mean, is like if you were to hear about a white billionaire going into like a massage place to get a rub and tug, is that something that would really surprise you? I mean, to me, that's almost good compared to what to what all the other billionaires are out there doing. So,
right.
but
So can you hear me?
yeah, no, agree. Okay, got you. So yeah, so the roast. If you didn't get a chance to see it, it's up on Netflix. I don't know if it's still up. I rewatched it probably like on Monday or something, so I don't know if it's still up, but I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, you could probably find a vast majority of the clips and stuff on social media and things like that. So, but to bring it back to comedy real quick. So, as there like, have you ever been to like an open mics? Like, do they have that sort of thing? Is it like a big area from where you're at? And I guess comedy shows in general. Have you ever been to one? And if so, what is your some funny experiences slash stuff you went to, or did you just not go to one at all? Did you?
So honestly, I haven't. Well, okay. So I don't know if Bill Cosby would be considered comedy per se. Or maybe it was G-rated comedy. Um, but Rose did say that the Brady one was about offering Kraft a massage. It was about Brady meeting Kraft in his room. That's what she meant. But no, getting back to the comedy thing. We went and saw Bill Cosby. Like I think it was like in '05 when I thought he was amazing. He read the room well. Everybody was laughing. It was just a good old time. And then later on all that came out that he was putting stuff in his pudding pop. he was putting stuff in his pudding pop. I'll just say that, and then putting in you. Anyways, I did go to an open mic. One of my friends tried comedy just to do it for fun. He just wanted to get out there and just, um, and he did pretty good. Like honestly, I give him credit because like everybody was there, people were laughing at it, and like I mean, even the top comedians of all time say they have bombed at one time or another. The thing that like our group was almost getting into it, and then the guy got kicked out, is I don't really f with people that like go to the comedy shows just to heckle the whole time, like you're just trying to be a dick and make it about yourself, and that's what the guy did. Like he kept trying to boo my guy, our friend, and I would have gotten annoyed honestly and been like, dude, just leave. Like if you're doing it to anyone, like if you don't think a joke's funny and you're like, oh, boo that. Like one time, okay, but when you're trying to do it about every joke, he was doing it to either others as well. He was trying to make it all about himself. Well, if you want to make it all about yourself, you should do you should do it you should do it yourself, right? Rose said, Shane, have you been to open mic? Do you have that in Washington? Live in the backwoods. Do you backwoods people have that open mic stuff in Washington? Trey's boomer voice. Oh no, no, but yeah, I mean, I did want to go to the George Lopez one for sure when it came to Northern Quest. Trey, you obviously know where that is, but nobody else wanted to go with me. And then by the time I was like, man, I'll just go by myself, it was too late. If Dave Chappelle was ever in town, I definitely drop a good set of coin on that. But it doesn't look like he'll ever do it. What about you, Trey? Have you been to any comedy shows around?
Yeah, no, I have not actually, and Shane does not live in the back towns. You talk about me. I'm not gonna say the exact area where I'm from, but it's about a solid 40,000 people, etc. But you go over to Shane's neck of the woods, it's about a solid 80 to 90,000, and I'm pissed off because he has all the buffets and all the all the good restaurants over there, and we don't got anything like that. So yeah, no, haven't been to a comedian show, but I definitely would not be opposed to going to such one. There was there was one comedian that was actually coming to Shane's town, and the tickets were like an insane price. I think it was Tom Segura, I think, and I like Tom Segura and all that, but I think the tickets were just too high. But moving on, acmably, however you say that word, we have had the golden tickets released. So they released three of them so far. They will be releasing another three, or excuse me, they released four. So four are available right now. They're going to be releasing another four tomorrow. So here are the lists of golden tickets. We have Darrington Evans, a halfback. If you don't know who that is, then I wouldn't be surprised because he's been on the practice squad basically his whole career. We have Brees Hall, running back for the Jets. We have Vincent Jackson at wide receiver. And, of course, the card that's probably going to cause a lot of rage playing Madden this late in the year is Julius Peppers, strong safety. And tomorrow, we're going to be getting Calvin Johnson at left outside linebacker. Expect a lot of pancakes to be had with Calvin Johnson at left outside linebacker. We have Patrick Willis, middle linebacker. Mike Allstott, fullback, which is a pointless position to have the golden ticket if you ask me. And last but not least, Dalton Kincaid as a tight end. So Shane, what's your initial thoughts about these golden ticket cards? I'll do because I have a follow-up question that I'm going to ask after this whole thing. But I guess first, just what's your general takeaways on the golden ticket so far? So.
First off, I gotta add to the population, Trey. You were slightly off. We have like 231K in where I live. Um, So, you're just a little off, bro. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Um, Now, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, honestly, like golden tickets are cool, but like everything's like 99s. So, I mean, what separates them? Like, am I being like not very smart right now? Am I not paying attention, Trey? Like, what's the difference between? Because I always thought golden tickets were like the 99s, and then people caught up to it. Am I missing something on that, Trey?
Yeah, no, excuse me. I wouldn't say that you're missing anything on it. I get what you're saying. I mean the actual like gameplay about them, that's all still the same. I mean, like you said, they're all 99 overall. I think it more so than anything, it's just the presentation, if you will. The whole name, the golden ticket. It's like the holy grail, so to speak, of Ultimate Team. But my follow-up question. So there's this golden ticket. Uh, what's my man's name? Darrington Evans. He was drafted in 2020 by the Titans, and I guess he had a pretty solid start to the career. But ever since then, he's been on practice squads and etc. Now, these golden tickets, which I'm sure they're probably skewed. I'm pretty sure EA Sports, takes control of some of the golden tickets. But do you think there's anything wrong with people creating cards that are essentially nobodies in the NFL and giving them a 99 overall? Do you see how that can be a problem, or is it just like, hey, they got a golden ticket, they could create, whoever they want?
For the golden ticket, you can create, right? You can create them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then I don't have a problem with that then at all. I mean, I think that this is what's going to happen if more like Hall of Fame players drop out. I think they'll do like, oh, Jamarcus Russell golden ticket, or not necessarily that because somebody created it, but I wouldn't doubt down the line they have like a Jamarcus Russell like throwback 99 overall draft pick, you know what I mean? For the draft pick one where like I mean, I just think that's what they'll do. They'll cover their bases where they're always going to be having people to spend money and always covering their bases where they're always going to make a good income from it. Now, my thing is for the golden tickets. Nah, man, I'm cool with it. Like, shoot, make me up, make Shane got you 11 up as a golden ticket. I'm really cool on that. Like, I don't have a problem with the golden ticket if somebody wants to make it up. What about you, Trey?
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem. I mean, I told everybody on this podcast that if I was, ever so fortunate, I would have created a 99 Bailey Zappi. And no offense to Bailey Zappi, but he's pretty much in the same boat as this Evans guy. So I mean, it is what it is. They can create what you want. I think more than anything now, there's still golden tickets to be had. I'm pretty sure there's still probably 5 to 10 more to come out. But I'm hoping that we get like a Pat McAfee card as a golden ticket, like at quarterback, Pat McAfee. I think that would be awesome to see. Do you have like, who would you create, Shane, if you could create a golden ticket?
Oh man, like I have a few. Like I'd probably do a Koye. I would probably do Marcus Trufant. I probably would throw it back to like Rick Meyer from back in the early '90s and make it do like the draft pick golden ticket. But that's where I am on
Yeah,
that.
on that. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. So yeah, we got the golden tickets. I don't know if there'll probably be, I know they got the Infinite Flux. That's a weird name. Try like Infinite Flux. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Sounds like they need to hire someone to come up with better promo names to these cards and stuff because that is just not it. But I don't work for EA, so I'll shut up. Um, so yeah, so we got the golden tickets coming out. Definitely excited to see what more they have in store for that, as well as other cards because we are officially in the wind down process of Madden 24, and it's just getting faker and faker by the day. I mean, Shane, when you play Madden this late and you're streaming, you're trying to be positive and all that, but I can imagine, or maybe because your team is actually a lot better than mine, so maybe you don't really think it is, but do you think it's just kind of gotten ridiculous at this point? I mean, literally, I was going to upload the clip, but I'm throwing a pass over the middle of the field, freaking midget ass Troy Polamalu, all 5 feet 10 inches of Troy Polamalu jumps up in the air to pick a pass when he wasn't even in the general vicinity of the area, and he got the pick. So what is your whole take on that?
So I'm gonna add on a little bit of things since Rose is always popping in this, and we always appreciate her. She said she knows that it wasn't asked about her opinion, but she said she's not going to complain either because the meta all year was dominated from so few names. So if somebody makes a random relevant for final few months, then so be it. Like I said, that's kind of where I am, especially for the golden ticket. And then she added on Flux as a reference to fantasy football, which means they can be used anywhere. And they give 3 variations of the 97 cards. It's like Flux variations. And teabags you while he's way up for the pick one. Yeah, I did. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, Trey, like, I think my team's a 96 overall. I'm not exactly sure what yours is overall. But yeah, making teams definitely matter. Like, the one guy that beat me pretty good, like, his team was 99s everywhere. And, well, actually, no, never mind. Not the guy that beat me pretty good. Just recently, he beat me I think in the stream, I don't remember what it was like. Maybe it wasn't the stream, but he beat me like 17-14, and he had 99s everywhere. He had abilities everywhere, Trey. And that's where if my team was his equal, it's not a 3-point game. I beat him by 10 plus, and if he has my team and I have his, I probably beat him by 17 plus. So teams matter to a certain degree. Like teams don't make everything like yes, Henry with the 96 overall, um, would still beat a lot of people that have 99s. Don't get it twisted. But there's a reason why every pro still has the top team in the game because it does matter against other top players. You feel me? So, yeah, so it is a little bit annoying, though, Trey. I definitely know what. Uh, I definitely know what you're talking about. It is a little bit rough. Usually in the past, when I was doing money games this late in the year, I was definitely on regs. I'm probably gonna next year. Excuse me. Next year when I do money games, because it's looking up and up and up for money games for me. Like I'll probably be on regs a lot too, so I have to get my regs team. I'll have to get my MUT team, but it'll be great. Yeah, it is a little bit annoying, Trey. I know what you mean. I probably got the poor man's team too now, Rose. Like try hard for sure for me. Trey, what's your overall? Because I know my 96 is kind of like behind now.
I think I also have a 96. I have a 96, but I still feel like my team is still like behind. But I wonder if it's just like different positions and stuff like that makes a difference.
Well, I'll add on to that, Trey. So like my wide receivers against that guy's 99s, I was getting like pushed around. Like if that makes sense. Like I think he had man coverage on it, and he was just man pressed, and then he had like pre-lit all over the defensive line, and like maybe one guy would get open, but then he wouldn't. And so I really was. I felt like I was back in the day where I just tried to run the ball mainly and try to keep it close. I mean, teams definitely matter, man, and it sounds like I'm crying about it, but there is some truth to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some truth to it for sure. I mean, I don't think there's going to be anyone really that's going to argue that point. But, if there is, let us know in the comments, give yourself detailed explanation on why you think we're wrong, and we'll hear you out for sure. So, full disclosure, I texted Shane probably around 3 p.m. ish. I texted him a link that I'm looking at now, and I looked at because okay, so there's a beta, every summer, EA Sports will, at least for like the past, 3 or 4 years, what have you, have had, a closed beta where you sign up essentially and you get a chance to test out the beta and it lasts for like a few days or whatever. So I see this pop up. It wasn't EA Sports specifically that tweeted this link. It was someone else, but it presented itself as EA Sports. So I have a feeling that I may have put in my information to sign up for the beta. In reality, there's about a 25% chance that it's going to someone like Nick that likes to scam people. But with all that being said, Shane, what is your opinion like? Because I'm sitting here trying to figure out why they're doing the beta this way. Because I could understand if it was like a super selective process where they give 10 people the shells, I guess you could say, of EA Sports to test out the games and give biased opinions and stuff like this, but the way they're doing it now just doesn't make sense because it's not like they're being selective about it. It's just more so, sign up for this and you get the beta code. So what is your take on the whole beta system?
I know they're doing it in waves again, like, and then what will happen is after both waves get it, they'll like usually add on another week to it so people can play it. And what I have heard though, I know people are like, well, it is a beta, yada yada yada, and that stuff. But I do know some pros do find some plays that are glitchy in the beta and don't tell EA what needs to be fixed so they can use it in the first tournament. So EA is thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna give it out to everyone. Everyone's gonna, help and actually do real feedback. But lots of times people aren't given the real feedback. Like, so I won't say who, but there's been some crew members, not in my crew, not in Trey's crew, that just didn't tell what happened in the beta until after the first tournament run. Then they told them, and then it got fixed. But Rose, she said Trey's gonna be sold on the black market. His card's gonna be used on card skimming for OnlyFans subscriptions and Eli Manning jerseys. I don't know. That'd be a tough sell, bro. If you have to buy a bunch of Eli Manning jerseys, Trey. No, I do think that they're trying to make it so the public can play the beta if you sign up for it. But at the same time, I mean, I'm not going to try to be rude, but the general population is not going to find stuff that will truly need to be fixed in Madden. What they need to do is they need to hire out probably top pros who can pinpoint and search and find things because, like I said, there will be people who find blitzes or glitches in the beta and then not tell so they can run it in a tournament, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, like for me to sum it up, I'm not upset that they try to give it to everybody, but the whole general population is like whatever in the comp scene, but I do understand why they do it so everybody does get a shot.
And I'm okay with giving everybody a shot, but to me it just seems like a waste of time, really, because it's like I've been a participant in these betas before. You go on, you can't really do much. I mean, you can do some things, but as far as like the top tier features that are going to be presented, unless it's a gameplay feature, a lot of it is stuff that you can't even do. So to me, it just seems like a complete waste of time. I mean, I understand what Shane's saying about how people who compete in the MCS and all that, how it can be beneficial to find out a blitz and stuff like that. But since we live in the patch era, a lot of that stuff is going to be fixed. Who's to say that the reason that they do it is to find out all the glitches and they somehow have a recording capture of it, and so they can come out and say, okay, this is what we got to do to fix it. But that's another thing too that I always kind of found concerning, that I don't know if Shane can provide any more insight into this, but they are, for like the last few years they've been doing the beta, they take the whole no sharing stuff pretty seriously. You can't stream it, can't post it. The only thing that you can really do is talk about it. I mean, why are they treating this beta as like a top secret Area 51 type of thing when it's like given out so frequently?
You know, first off, Rose wanted me to tell you, Trey, that she says, I hope you know that she is just joking with you and having fun and not really trying to upset you. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you know that.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, I know that. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funniest too. So yeah, definitely.
And then she went on to say Mutt gave you some limited play options, and they're not going to cheat. You can't have the pros that make tournaments each year and have secret abuse. Uh, to add on to that, Trey, it is a little weird that you can't talk about it and you can't stream it or do anything. I think that streaming it would bring more people, but maybe not. Maybe they're afraid that if you stream it, people will be like, "That game sucks. I'm not buying it." You know what I mean? Maybe that's what they're afraid of. The half done product is not good enough, and they're afraid people won't buy it. But I don't think so. I think they want to keep things under wrap, and they're a little odd if you want to know the truth. So for me, it really is like, I don't know. I excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I think that you just have to be okay with it. Like, if you're gonna make an open beta for anyone who signs up for a certain amount of time, I think you should allow everybody to stream it, especially if you let some content creators stream. You should let everyone stream. And it's already been a proven fact that certain pros have gotten the game earlier, the completed version earlier, and that's why they're ahead of the game. And here, I will go on this. I will add on to this. I'd like to know what the listeners think and Trey thinks on this. Before I get into it, let's see. Rose said EA's gameplay is more secret than Area 51, and EA is trying to do it to sell. I guess EA does it because they want that exclusive and pressure buying to people. So why change it? Facts, Rose. I do agree on that. Like, I think maybe they're afraid that, if they show a broken looking game in the beta, people won't want to buy it until it's completely finished, and then people buy it. But here's my conspiracy theory. I felt like I don't remember when the last Madden MCS tournament game was where it was Mutt Draft, and all the top pros got their playbooks, and all the mid tier pros and less did not get their playbooks. And then people were like, "Yo, it seems like you guys set it up to get the top pros their playbooks." I do think that EA tried to push for like certain people to become the face of Madden and try to push them in that area. So, you could be like 5-time champ and get people pumped up about like some superstar. And I don't think it really worked as well as they were hoping. But my conspiracy theory on this is that they know they they know that they try to push certain people to become the face of Madden and try to get people following and watching and rooting for these people. And some people's personalities weren't good enough. Okay, they were about as exciting as watching paint dry. And then some they didn't take it as serious, or they didn't lab as much as they used to, and then it fell apart. But I do think certain things like certain top pros getting their playbooks in MUT draft was really, really weird. So I do think on that. And yeah, Rose, I definitely think the FOMO is another reason why they do it. So you can't stream it. They want you to buy it and all that. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that there was a conspiracy theory in the last few years to get certain top pros to face of Madden and have MUT draft playbooks set up to their liking? Because at this time it was only one round of having the playbooks, and magically about I believe it was the top 12 all got their playbook, and that's pretty coincidental. Not so. That's just my conspiracy theory on that. So what are you guys' take? And Trey, what's your take on it?
Yeah, yeah. Real quick, I wanted to ask you a question because you said it. What is FOMO? I haven't heard that before.
Fear of missing out. Can you hear me? Fear of missing
Fear
out.
of missing out. Oh yeah, gotcha. I never heard of that acronym. Yeah, so I agree. I mean, we've kind of talked about the whole draft champion things ad nauseum, and it wouldn't surprise me. I get where Shane's coming from. I think where Shane and I disagree is that I think he puts more stock into the whole playbook situation. It would be one thing if it was like MUT teams or regs, but a game mode like MUT draft where all the players are on the same level playing field, it make the gap between that and the playbooks to me is close. Now, it is important to get your playbook, but once you start playing with, two playbooks, three playbooks, I feel like a lot of them are kind of the same. So that's kind of my take, but I do agree with what Shane's coming from. And I guess to close out my thoughts about the beta is that I'm not upset or like I'm not like, angry or whatever about the way they do things. I think my thing is that I'm more just curious. I'm curious as to why, they do things a certain way that they do because it just doesn't make sense. So it would be interesting if I could if I could talk to someone and say, "Hey man, why are you doing things like this, etc., etc." Because the explanations that you and Rose made, it makes sense to me, but at the same time, I think that there might be an explanation that I'd be interested to hear. But I'm excited, and it's entertaining too, Shane. Like, you ever notice, like, you get on Twitter or X or whatever, and you see all these people that are fiending for beta codes, like they're over here saying I'll do all this stuff for beta codes. Like, it's just hilarious to me. And also, I've hooked you up with, I don't know if you remember, but I've actually hooked you up with a few beta codes over the last couple of years because I don't think because I think at a lot of times I was able to get mine before you got yours, which is pretty crazy. But I would say that if you are a participant in the beta, then I think it should be a requirement that you go onto the forums that it has posted and to give your feedback. Like, I think that if you're not going to get general feedback, if you're just going in there playing it like you play every other game, I think you shouldn't be able to play the game. Shane, do you agree with that take?
Trey, shout out to Trey. I remember everything about him giving me the beta. It was wild. Do you remember the longest time, Trey, I would be picked as like one of the pros to get the beta back in the day when it was closed beta?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now Trey's just hooking me up. I'm not gonna lie, Trey is hooking me up. Rose added. I'd agree. EA is trying to push narrative to keep pros relevant and trying to prop up make superstars, and yeah, egos would make big selling points. If some weren't polarizing, because it's hard to sell some middle-aged person or a young person in life with a responsibility. Like, hey, look at this college student who plays 8 hours a day. Nobody relates to these dudes. And that's where I am. Like, I did think like Joel was really good at like entertaining. Even what the hell is that one kid's? Don't care about ice. He was entertaining in that little pipsqueak trash talk, which is whatever. But like, yeah, most of us aren't gonna like. I'm not gonna vibe with certain ones of them. Okay, I'm just not. And okay, yeah, well, you're a boomer, you're an old head. Yeah, I just even back in my 20s, I wouldn't have vibed with a lot of these kids, and nothing against them on this. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but on most of them, even in my early 20s, mid 20s, I wasn't sitting around for 10, 11 hours a day and just like trolling people online. I was playing sports even if it was rec league because I was out of school and I was raising a family still even in my early 20s, and yes, I'd play enough. Don't get me wrong, I play enough, but like I don't know. I'm not playing 10, 11 hours a day. Even when I was making good, like decent money for a video game, I was still like 4 to 5 hours. Um, yeah, that is true, Rose. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean they are, like, and it's fine, like in the end because they are making tons of money. Like Henry's a millionaire, I believe. So then, if he's smart, he can be rich and well off for uh, however long he's smart about it. But yeah, most people aren't gonna vibe with them that are in their 40s or late 30s and all that. And with me, it's like for me, it's like yeah, there's a couple people that are cool, but like I can't play for 10, 11 hours a day, but hey, I'm not gonna lie. I would enjoy that if I won a tournament. You know what I mean? Like playing 6 hours a day. But yeah, Trey, I'm not gonna lie, bro. What did you have me ask a question? Did you ask me a question, or did I just go on a whole tangent?
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just saying. So like, say someone was to get a beta code, and say they were to play it but not do anything constructive with it. Like say, they just got on and they didn't go on the forums to leave a review. And my take on that was I'm saying like if you get selected to be a participant in the beta and you're not willing to go on the forums and give your feedback or anything like that, I don't think you should be allowed to be back in the beta. So I just wanted to know if you agree with that or not.
Um, yes, I agree. I think that you should have to leave feedback, but I think a lot of them either don't leave feedback or they give some feedback, but they still hide certain plays, certain formations that they're hoping to use in tournament one. But I do agree with what you're saying. And Rose, to add on, yeah, like I don't like. I'm not gonna lie because I'm competitive and I'm a comp player, but like I will usually watch people's streams to see like what the meta is, right? So I will watch them to see what they're doing and then try to figure out how to attack it. But yeah, I do understand from people that are on the non-competitive side, and I'm not talking about you, Rose. I'm talking about in general, where like they get bored watching the same 2, 3 plays. Yes, with some adjustments. That's why a lot like it's crazy. There's like for the general public, a lot of them think that there should be cooldown plays, which people could be like, yeah, but Shane, you run like 3, 4 plays until people stop you. But like from a unique standpoint unique plays called on offense and defense. I don't know if you've looked at that before, Trey, like on the leaderboards for the unique. Um, I don't know if you've seen unique offense plays and unique defensive plays on the leaderboard. Have you not? Because I've got more to add on.
Yeah, so it's average unique plays called on offense and defense, and it's like an example would be like 1.5, 2.5, whatever. It's not really a clear stat. Like they're not really clear about how they rate it. So I just want to put it out there like we don't really necessarily know what that stat does because they don't really give us a much of an explanation. Not saying that you're wrong with how it does, but just keep that in mind. But yeah, go ahead with what you're saying. Go.
So, well, supposedly the unique plays are stuff how much you adapt to it. So, like what they're saying is unique plays, Trey, is like if you run a certain formation, how many times do you call a different play inside that formation? That's at least what they were saying. Right, and Rose, I do understand about the whole, yeah, like Zan and doing scheme breakdowns. I still I'm gonna still be honest, Rose, like all of them don't give out the complete 100% secrets. They might do 80%, which helps most people, but in the competitive scene, they still hide things because, I mean, let's be honest, you have to. And right, they definitely allow you the casual gamers and semis learn it. So Trey, the unique plays is I guess is what at least what I looked up right now. I wanted to make sure that I was being right on this, or not even trying to be right. I was trying to just go off a bit. So like at least what I see the facts. If you see seven unique plays, usually they run 2-3 formations with a mix of three different play calls inside that formation. At least that's what I've been reading, Trey. And if I'm wrong, if it comes out that these guys don't know what they're talking about, I still apologize. But I think this is what it is. So, like for unique plays, like mine on the leaderboard has always been way higher than most of the pros. Like a lot of the pros have unique offense plays for about three, and then on defense it's about three. Like I believe one of our guys who's a top pro, like his unique offensive plays was like 3.7, and on defense it was like three. Mine is usually up to about eight on offense and about I think six on defense. So I technically call about double that what people do on that. I don't know about you, Trey. I don't know what your unique plays are. I just I'd be perfectly cool with them doing cooldown. As crazy as that sounds, because most people in the pro community would flip their crap. You know what I mean? If you had to do cooldown, but I'm cool with adapting and all that stuff. Rose says Zan covers everything you'll face in Weekend League or All Madden. Maybe not everything in the MCS does, but it takes the very next day when something becomes popular. And that GG website has these updated tactics for any trending meta, blah, blah, like bunch defense, bunch RPO defense. No, definitely it does, Rose. But the thing is like, yes, for the MCS, he is not given everything out there. He just he just isn't like maybe Zan will, but like a lot of the people that give away ebooks, they don't give away everything if that makes sense for the MCS route. So am I wrong? Do you think Trey on what I was looking up where they're describing unique plays, or like do you think that it might be what that I might be on what they're talking about, or what do you feel about the whole unique thing?
No, so I agree with you. I mean, it is possible that they just don't know what they're talking about. Because like from what I've seen, because I've also done some research into this myself, and it's like it's an answer, but you have to keep in mind these are answers that are not really based in substance. So in other words, anybody can get online and say, "Oh yeah, this is what it is. This is how they gauge it." Blah blah blah. But overall, I don't think you're that far off. I don't know how they would gauge it. Like, so if someone were to run bunch or like whatever, like the most called plays there in Madden, I don't know how they'd be able to like gauge that per se. But I know for me personally on offense, I go through a lot of formations. I consider myself to be bubblegum, as they say, on offense. Basically, I just played scared. Not gonna lie, I played scared of a lot of RPO, swing passes, that sort of thing. No shots, no slide to Shane on that. But I ain't gonna lie, on defense, I run one play and I just make adjustments out of that one play. The only way that I'll change it is if it's a goal line situation, I'll get into goal line, or if they're just absolutely pounding my life away, pause. Then I'll get into like a 4-6 or a 3-4, that sort of thing. But other than that, I just stick in one formation. But the reason that I do that is more so the adjustments, because Shane doesn't use quick adjustments, so he doesn't understand that when you do quick adjustments on defense, the buttons for each formation is completely flipped. So I think that's a reason why they stick in one formation on defense. But so Shane, I'm going to switch gears on you a little bit. I'm going to ask you a question that is not in the Madden sphere that I've been thinking about. So say you were able to ask someone a question, and no matter what you asked, they had to tell you the truth. Who is the person that you're going to be asking the question to, and what is the question that you're going to ask?
Are they are they alive or are they dead? Is it spiritual? Is it how do you want me to break it down?
They can be alive or dead.
Hmm. Well, I will throw out religious thing because I don't want to get into that whole thing. Um, let's see. That's a good question, bro. Um, I probably ask Babe Ruth a question, and I'm not entirely sure what it would be. For anyone who doesn't know, Babe Ruth, like to me, was like my favorite all-time baseball player, and I
I
basically would
basically
ask
would
him one of
ask
those
him one of those
questions.
questions.
Were you still alive when Babe Ruth played though? Just kidding.
Bro, I think I was like 25 when he was playing, bro. Nah, and I also think Trey is kind of crazy that you said this because I think like, how cool would it be if you could be transported, but not hurt or anything, right? But like put on like a little bubble and sent to a time in history to watch, like the dinosaurs roam the earth or like the Roman Empire or anything. Like I think that would be one of the sickest things of all time to do. As long as you didn't get hurt or like die of some weird disease, like you could just watch it like it was a movie. I think that would be so wild. Rose said, "Yeah, Trey's not sitting there like Audible's down, Audible and ever doing a barrel roll backflip." No, facts, Rose, facts. Rose, Trey's just handling straight business. No, but I did think about that stuff like that, Trey. Like I have so much stuff like I would want to see and like and do. Now here, I got a question for you, Trey. What what for you? Okay, so I just had it. Like what is like one of your most recent purchases from food or drink where you're like, I'm going to try it. This looks amazing and it just tasted like straight booty. Like for me, I'll tell you what like so I saw these watermelon ice cream organic. Facts, Rose, facts. So I saw these organic watermelon ice cream, and I'm like, dude, I love watermelon. Oh, this is gonna be so good. It's organic. It's like I bet it's bomb as hell. And it came, and it was, bro, you guys, it was like sucking on an ice cube with like a drop of watermelon on it. I will never buy it again ever in my life. I don't care if it said you live to 114 by sucking on this ice cube basically with a drop of watermelon. So I just want to know what you guys like. What is your purchase that you're gonna drink or eat recently or within the past year where you're like, oh, I can't wait to eat it or drink it. And it was just like garbage, and you'll never spend money on it again.
Yes, if you are listening to this podcast, let us know in the comment section what is. And actually, let's even go beyond drink and food. What is your biggest something you purchased that you regret doing it? So to answer Shane's question about the whole food thing, so KFC came out with it's like it's like a pizza, but it has pepperoni and cheese, and it's like but they put it on a chicken. I think it's called a chizza. So I went and tried that, and it was not that impressive. I did like when Burger King came out with it was like a Cheeto puff and they had mac and cheese in it. So I heard a lot of people say they didn't like it, but I actually liked that. But you know, the whole KFC pizza thing, I was not impressed with that. So, but with that being said, Shane, tell me about your other purchases that you made that didn't exactly pan out well.
Um, late night purchase, being drunk, Rose. Yeah, facts. Facts on that. Let's see. What would be a purchase that I was like, dude, this was so stupid. Basically my computer. Like I literally spent like $1,200 on it, so I could stream off of it, and obviously I'm not smart enough on computers and all that. That basically this $1,200 computer is for my youngest to do ABC mouse. So that was a horrible purchase, but in the long haul, whatever. I mean, it is what it is now. Money come, money go, money be thrown out the window. For that, okay, I gotta flip it because I just have a story like one of the craziest times that I remember in my memory right now. Like I used to deliver furniture for like shoot 9, 10 years, and I had some wild stories. I ran into some cool people. Some places were just wild. Some places I thought I was gonna die at. So we go to this old folks place, right? Old folks retirement center, and I bring in like this chair, and I'm delivering it, and this lady's like, "Hey, can you come here for a minute, son?" And so I go with my buddy, who's my boss, and okay, that is disgusting. I got to add on to this. Sorry, Trey, I'm all over, but I'm reading what Rose said. She said, I always used to make rolled up hot dogs in abundance school, and I totally bombed them in making them, and it tastes like frozen hot dog water. Yeah, that's nasty, Rose. That hot dog water, basically, I throw up all over. Like, that is nasty. So, okay, getting back to this story. So I go over and we're having a conversation with a couple old people and like they're chill and they're having fun. Like they're totally with it, right? Well, then I look over to this lady and she's knitting and I'm thinking like she's talking about like how she's knitting like an item for her grandson and I was like, "Oh, how sweet." In my head as an early 20-year-old. And so I basically focused in on what she was doing and she was knitting a freaking garbage bag, you guys. A garbage bag. And I kept staring because I was completely like just mind effed. Okay. I'm not going to say the word, but I was basically mind effed. And my boss buddy was like, Shane, go to the truck because I started laughing and I couldn't stop laughing. I have never seen anybody knit a plastic bag. Have you guys ever seen somebody knit a plastic bag?
No, I can't say that I have. And ladies and gentlemen that are watching this, I can personally confirm that Shane has a few stories now. Now, the story that he just told, that is a new one. I haven't heard that one, but he has told me some pretty awesome, stories from the furniture days, as well as delivering mail. Some stories that are pretty cool. Some of them are kind of inappropriate, so I don't think we should repeat them on stream. But I think the one story that I don't think you remember telling is when you were delivering furniture and you tried to drop off food to a homeless guy, and basically he grabbed your arm and said, "That's it, no money." No.
Bro, I remember that. Yo, yeah, dude, that pissed me off. No, I had just gotten off work, and I saw this guy, and he said he was hungry and all that on his sign, and I went to the the local Yokes and spent all and get this. I'm getting minimum wage, okay. The only tip I got all day, I hadn't spent, and I'm like, damn, I feel bad. And I went and got him chicken with some orange Julius. I give it, and he grabbed my arm and said, "This is it, no money." And I was so shocked. Like, I was so shocked that all I could do was be like, no, and like drive off. And I wish now I would have taken his chicken and ate it right in front of him. I should have taken his chicken back that I bought for him and ate it. No, I'm being serious. That like, yeah, that was wild. Dude, I've delivered to some wild places, like where the lady was repeating, like, that's not my sofa over and over and over. Or like, I delivered to this one lady and she goes, I don't have any tip money, but come back late at night and I'll give you some tip money. And she had like five pit bulls. And like, I'm like, yeah, she didn't chop me up and feed me to her pit bulls. Some crazy stories that one day we will have to just go over, like, delivery stories for people on the podcast, Trey.
Hell yeah, definitely something to be getting into, especially when, the whole Madden season has kind of dwindled down, but it's getting ready to get picked back up. The one other story, you're talking about going into, like, some sketchy neighborhoods, this and that. But one of the stories that I remember you telling me is going into rich people's, and there was one rich person, and there was a lady there that you could kind of tell right off the gate that she was kind of in the sugar daddy type of situation. Can you tell that one real quick, and then I'll stop with the stories and all that.
Are you talking about the girl that was like basically like? Are we talking about the same one? I'm pretty sure, right?
I think so. Like, I think you said the person that you delivered to was like some coach or something like that was like well off. Well,
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. And the girl was like, yeah, half the age, yeah, and was like, it. I'll just sum it up because I do have one of these other stories I do want to add to thinking about it now. No, Trey, yeah, she basically was like in it for the money. Like, yeah, she was basically like, I would say a gold digger. I'll leave it at that right now. And Rose, yeah, I should aid the chicken in front of him because that's some jackass stuff. Part of my language. Now, I will say a lot of poor people know how it feels to be poor. And get this, Trey. This is one of my like stories and rows where I'm like, damn, like I felt bad even taking the tip and I tried to give it back, but it was like so disrespectful to her that I ended up taking it. So I delivered to like a low income apartment, right? Or like not an apartment, a low income house. It was like honestly, it was like probably the size of somebody's small living room. And all I did was bring in an, I believe it was an ottoman and an end table, and she had a little daughter, and and the lady was a Russian lady. She's probably like 25 with like, like a 2 or 3 year old. Yo, she gave me a $20 tip, and I could tell that she was super poor. But she was trying to explain that you tip good service, and I was like, no, 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 like I don't need the money. And she goes, no, you take it, and it was like, dude, like I will say, like, um, from all my deliveries, you guys, from all my deliveries in my whole, I mean, I did about 6, 7 a day, sometimes 5 to 6 days a week. I mean, times by 12 months, times by 9 years. I mean, I did a lot. I did a lot. The poor people tip better than the rich people. The rich people were selfish usually, and oh, that's how they keep their money. But like, they're pretty selfish. Like, so I'm gonna tell this story. Like, this is like one of the stories for a rich person that stuck with me for like all my 9 years there. My buddy Frank, he's a black dude. One of the dudes that would give his shirt off his back for you, even if you're in the freezing cold. Both of you, he'd give it to you to have two shirts, and he'd have zero. One of the greatest guys I've ever met in my life. We go deliver. Well, I in like this rich, just pure rich neighborhood. It's late at night. We're in the little mountains. Like this person's house is fantastic. It is beautiful. It is amazing. Well, my buddy Frank. Oh well. Oh well. My buddy Frank. He's wearing an Oakland Raiders coat. You know, the big puffy Oakland Raiders coat at the time with like a beanie on, and I was wearing a huge puffy Gonzaga shirt or coat. So it was just as baggy as his Oakland Raiders coat. Well, we went to deliver, and the guy went to leave and said, "I'm gonna go get you guys Oh, I think he said, I'm going to go get something to be returned. That's what it was, to get returned to the store. He looked at Trey and said, or I mean, not Trey. He looked at Frank. He looked at Frank and said, now you're not going to steal anything, are you, boy? I mean, and I looked at the guy and said, are you serious right now? And Frank was like, stop, Shane, it's all good. And then like shook his head and then we ended up leaving. But I'm like, that was probably one of the most, like if I was Frank, I probably would have headbutted the dude in the face. Like, so that was one of the yeah, those started windbreakers. That was one of the wildest things. One of the cutest stories was is one of my coworkers and I delivered to this lady up in the northern part of the city where I am from. And as a tip, she gave us each a pop with a little baggie of Chex Mix, and it was like such a total mom thing. Like she was probably like 40, and I was like 20 at the time. That was probably like the little cutest thing, but like yeah, there's been some wild stories. I mean, some pretty awful stories. Like I mean, one guy threatened to put my buddy in the bushes. He called me a name because I wouldn't get in the back of the moving truck to go up the hill in these mountains. I said, "Hell no, I'm going to get in the front seat. I'm going to buckle up and like, you know, all that stuff." So like, yeah, yeah, no, no, Rose, like super racist pieces of crap. Yeah, he was, yo. I promise you, like, if I was Frank, I would have dented the guy's face in, and I was even pissed off, and I was that's why I said it to the guy. Like, um, I mean, there's been a few times when I was doing deliveries where, and I know we're getting off topic, Trey, and I apologize, but there's been a few times where it started to get a little like sketchy, like don't talk to me like that. This one guy was super disrespectful to me, and I was moving furniture for him, and he was just such a dick. I mean, that was pretty bad. Or and another thing is like, we went to deliver furniture to this one lady, and she was so rich and never was told no in her life. I guarantee she was never told no in her life. She wanted us to move her concrete slab that was not part of the job and move it, and then try to say that they're gonna she was gonna get us fired because we didn't want to keep moving stuff, and we even did move it for a little bit. Another story that I felt really bad was the lady who thought her husband basically divorced her, but because he doesn't come and visit, but in reality he had passed away. That was pretty bad. Another one was this old man who tried to write me like a $600 check for the mattress, and I had to tell him the mattress was already paid for. And then just to sum it up on this, one of the worst ones that I felt bad for, and I probably have told this story like multiple times, Trey, is the guy that I thought was the biggest jerk. He was sitting in the corner, an older man, didn't nod, didn't smile, didn't even really acknowledge us. We brought the mattress in. We get a phone call like 15 minutes later asking us if we could pick it back up because he had died in the corner. He had died in, I apologize, but he had died in the corner of the bedroom, and I was just like, I'm going to hell. Like, I am so screwed because I was so pissed off about a guy who was either already dead in the corner or dying in the corner. Just some wild stuff, Trey.
Yeah, no, that's messed up for sure. I think the one highlight to me, like because now we're going over all these stories, is remember I think you were working at the hotel or something. Like I think you know the hotel, like it's like a 5-star hotel, but back when you were at it, it was like a normal everyday hotel. And like you go to the room and it's like someone just like just pooped all pooped all over the place.
Oh, let me tell this. You want me to tell the story real quick?
Yeah.
Okay,
Tell
so
it.
okay, so you guys get this. So Rose get this. So I mean, like I think it was like a 3-star hotel when I was there, and then it became a 4-star, and it was such a big deal. And then like, yeah, now they're way bigger. But so I was basically like I don't like a man made basically. That's basically what I was. But like, I would always disappear, so I wouldn't have to do stuff, and I would go into like the little area where you just fold the towels and stuff, and the best part was the radio wouldn't work, so I couldn't get in trouble on that. But like, because I didn't really like, I wasn't good at like cleaning beds and making beds. Um, the biggest mistake, like I'm gonna be honest right now, like I'm gonna be honest, especially since I only lasted 10 months, is when I found like this necklace where and and it was probably was worth, I would say, probably at least 5 or 10K, and I turned it in. I regret turning it in for sure. Yeah, that's effed up, Rose. F that. No, so we go. So well, this long story. I'm with the assistant manager down there, and she's like, "Hey, I need I need Ocean State University." That's wild. So I go up there and we open the door, and I literally almost threw up like on instant. Like this dude had shit in the back of the back of the toilet. You know where you lift up the lid to like if something gets plugged, you pull it up and it flushes from the back of thing. He had shit a huge log in there. Oh, I'm already wanting to gag. He had pooped and smeared his hands, shit hands all over, part of my language, but all over the walls. He had pooped in the bed. I mean, and she's like, Shane, I need you to clean this up. And I was like, hell no, I ain't cleaning this up. You can clean this up or fire me. I don't really care. And I walked out because it was one of the grossest scenes I can ever explain to somebody besides like death or murder where somebody got blasted or took their own life. But like, I mean, this dude had shit all over. I mean, all over. It was one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, that's wild for sure. I think it's as funny. It's like she told you need to quit it, then you basically just quit. You're like, yeah, I'm out of here. Screw that. Like,
Yeah, I ain't cleaning that, dude. It was gross, Trey.
yeah.
Like when I say it was gross, like who the hell shits in the back of the toilet? Like who does that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My favorite thing, though, like one of my favorite stories of all time, and I've probably told this story like a lot, is when I used to be at the post office, and this dude like was such an angry person, such a jerk, and he'd be like, "You got my money, give me my money," and he just talked so much smack to me. Well, like I got pissed off, and I did like kind of irritate him back, and I played the game right. Like I saw the windows were closed of the neighborhood, and he was calling me like a bunch of homophobic slurs, like trying to get under my skin. Oh, you with those black bleep socks, just a bunch of homophobic slurs. And he started to walk down the steps, and I said, "You better stay on those steps, because I'm not that mailman. I'll stay on those steps. I'm not that mailman." And he stayed on the steps, and he started yelling at me. Well, then I started seeing the windows open, and I was like, I completely switched it up, and I was like, "Sir, why are you trying to harass me? All I'm trying to do is my job. Why would you do this to me?" And people are getting mad at him and calling in on him. Oh man, it's funny as ever. Yes, Rose, exactly. The full Dumb and Dumber scene where he leaves the chalk bar in his pocket bathroom. The dad freaks out thinking that he's shit all over. That's how it looked, Rose, but it was real shit. It was one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life. Shit in the bed, shit on the walls, shit in the back of the toilet. Like, who does that? Anyways, Trey, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no, definitely that's insane. Like that is hilarious. All these stories and more to be to be continued on the West Coast Podcast. Shout out to Shane Got You 11 for being here. Shout out to Rose for always being in here, not just the podcast but for the regular streams. And the regular streams will continue. Make sure to go to Shane Got You 11. Have the notifications turned on. He'll be continued streaming for you guys. Be sure to check out my videos. Trey is Raw. Been pretty consistent on that. And yeah, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let us know in the comments if you got any subjects that you want us to cover, and we're looking forward to bringing you guys some more West Coast podcast action coming up in not this Friday, but the Friday after that. So throw it back over to Shane and to close this out for this edition of the West Coast podcast.
I appreciate Trey. Go check out Trey. Go check out Trey. Go watch his redemption videos. Go watch his streams for money, games, his all that. Yeah, Rose. Always, we appreciate you being in here. Like always. Like that's just being factual. Um, but yeah, so a lot of good stories. I know I kind of went off kilter there, but I mean some of the stories like I have tons of stories like I could probably make a couple episodes on the podcast with you guys from it. From women doing trying to hit on me, which was like completely creepy on how they did it. No wonder how some women get creeped out by some men. That's what happened to me, but that'll be for a different story, different day. We will see you guys back here May 24th. Enjoy Mother's Day for everyone who celebrates Mother's Day. For Trey, I am Shane. I appreciate y'all being in the West Coast podcast. We will see you 2 weeks from tonight.